Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. You already know it's your girl, Miss Jackson, if you're classy. A lot of you have been waiting for part 2 of my Q&A series. So my Q&A series was something that I allowed the floor to open for people to just ask me any questions that they wanted to, and I promised to answer them truthfully. If you watched my last video, there was a question at the very end of the video that had people wondering, oh my God, what's the answer? Well, today you're going to get that answer, but you gotta watch the whole thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started because I do have a lot of questions today to answer. So the first question says, what is your greatest accomplishment so far? I would have to say, I think I have a lot of accomplishments, like little milestones that I've reached here and there, but my biggest accomplishment would have to be graduating college. I mean, that's just something that a lot of people don't get the opportunity to say that they did. Just being completely transparent, it did not take me just 4 years to finish college. Through a lot of trials and tribulations and switching majors and losing credits, all kind of stuff. Academic probation, I'm gonna be honest. In the beginning, when I was fooling around as a freshman, not taking stuff serious, a lot of different things really did set me back. Money, a lot of different things set me back. So it took me 7 years to get my bachelor's degree, but honey, do you think that I am tripping? No, because thank the good Lord, I made it through. I graduated, got my degree in interdisciplinary studies from the education department at Prairie View A&M University, the most illustrious university that there is in the land. But yes, so I would have to say that was my biggest accomplishment. Through all the trials and tribulations, I didn't let anything that was meant to hold me back. I didn't let it stop me. I kept the faith. I kept believing that this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm supposed to get. This is what I'm supposed to achieve. And I did it. With the help of my family and friends and Jesus, I did it, honey. I graduated and now I am a teacher, teaching, doing what I love to do and living my life. I'm blessed to be able to support myself. I'm thankful that I was able to make it through, and I will always count that as one of my biggest accomplishments. The next question says, who is your biggest inspiration? I feel like I take inspiration from a lot of different people. People in my family, some celebrities like Michelle Obama, of course, is one of them, Ava DuVernay, just women that really stand for something. But I definitely have to say my biggest inspiration is my mother. My mama, girl, you my best friend, girl. My mom has just been through a lot in her life, and she's always come out on top no matter what. She's always stayed graceful with anything that she's been faced with, anything that she's gone through. Anybody who knows my mom knows that she is the sweetest woman you probably will ever meet. Has an amazing heart, a heart of gold. She is just a soldier in so many ways, but she's a gentle soldier, and I aspire to be like her. The older I get, more and more. It's crazy because the older I do get, the more I do see a lot of her in myself, and it just makes my heart really full. But my mom, man, my mom is my inspiration. Like, just to carry myself in a way that she does as an adult, as a woman, as a Black woman. In society's eyes, Black women are seen as the bottom of the totem pole. And my mom supersedes all of the totem poles, okay? She is up here, honey. And I say that in the most glorifying way, but she is that in the most humble way. And I just love my mom so much. And mama, I know you watching this. Love you, girl. So yeah, shout out to my mama. That's definitely my biggest inspiration. The next question is, what do you like to do for fun? I think I already answered that. The next question is, what's your favorite movie and why? So I would go ahead and say, I've had this conversation with my best friend so many times, and I do have one top favorite movie, but I have a group of top favorite movies as well. And my group of top favorite movies are most of all the Black classic love movies, like Love and Basketball, Poetic Justice, The Best Man, The Wood, Dreamgirls, Brown Sugar. Though I love The Baby Boy. All of those classics, Black classics, I could watch all of them every day. But my favorite movie on this earth is Love Jones. And the reason why Love Jones is my favorite movie is because the acting, first of all, in that movie was top notch. They had Lorenz Tate and Nia Long. Come on now. Superb acting. Second of all, that love story, a lot of people like to talk down on Love Jones and say it's a real simple movie. But no, that's because you're not feeling it on the deep level that it's supposed to be felt on. Love Jones is such a lyrical movie. It's such a poetic movie. It's such a, I don't even know the words to describe it, but that movie is from the soul, okay? Speaking of soul, Soul Food is also another one of my favorite movies. But Love Jones is just beautiful in every aspect. I do feel like there's a lot of aspects in that movie that are very relatable. You can tell that there wasn't no surface level love. Like a year later, and they came back. If you haven't seen the movie, sorry, spoiler alert, but at this point, I really don't feel sorry because what are you doing if you haven't seen Love Jones? Anyway, a year later, and they came back together, and that passion was still just so fire. Like the poem he wrote for her, the poem she wrote for him at the end, and when she thought he wasn't in there, oh my gosh, and that's urgent. Like, y'all know the rest. Love Jones is my #1 favorite movie. Also, yes, if you were wondering, this is the same wig that I have been wearing, that curly wig from Amazon that I showed you guys. However, I washed it last night and I blow dried it out and combed it out. And you know what? I was like, this is kind of cute big. So I'm gonna go ahead and rock it like this or whatever, at least for a couple days. And then I'll go ahead and wet and wave it back up. So yeah, that was a side note. This is the same wig. The next question is, if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? Dang, that's a good question. Whoever wrote this one, shout out to you. That's a good question. Physically, I go ahead and take this stomach all the way away, boo. Like, give me flat stomach, okay? A flat stomach, and then keep the rest of my thickness, honey. But God knew what he was doing when he didn't allow it to happen, so I'm not even gonna hate. I have learned to love all of me, no matter, you know, my size, no matter my shape. I really have grown to love me. It wasn't always like that. I'm gonna be honest. It hasn't always been like that. But as I've grown older, I have learned to really embrace who I am, what I look like, and love it, honey. Internally, I would have to say, you really make me think. You know, I sat here and I thought about it, and being completely 100% honest, there's actually nothing that I would change about myself internally. Everything about me makes me who I am. There's literally no one else on this planet like me. There's literally no one else on this planet like you. And I feel like the sooner we embrace that and accept that, the sooner we can just be at peace with ourselves and just, you know, be at a place to where we can actually just be happy with who we are. Like I said, it wasn't always like that. It did take some time and some growing and some maturing. However, I do feel like I have arrived at that place. And if I'm not all the way arrived, I'm almost there. Like, I am happy with who I am, my personality, the way that I think, you know, the way I was brought up. Everything about me makes me me. I love myself. I have really grown to love myself. being completely honest, I really did sit here and think about the question. I even had to turn my camera off and just really sit and think. And everything that I thought of that I could possibly change, I had to retract myself and be like, you know what, no. That is what makes you you. So there's no need to change that. If it's not harming anybody, if it's not harming yourself, if it's not setting you back, then there's no reason to change it. That's just who you are. So yeah, to answer your question, internally, nothing I would change about myself. But God, if you're listening, you can go ahead and take this stomach physically, okay? Next question. What is the best and worst thing about being a teacher? Ooh, okay. So I would have to say the best thing about being a teacher is obviously, if you're really in it for the kids, is the kids. I mean, knowing that you are the reason a kid is learning, progressing, changing for the better. You get to see children, especially if you're an early childhood teacher like I am. I teach the first grade. So I literally get kids straight, sometimes out of their house. First grade is sometimes the first grade that they go to. They don't even go to pre-K or kindergarten. They just jump straight to first grade. So to be some children's first teacher, or the teacher that taught them how to read, or even just the teacher that showed them love when they weren't used to getting love, that is probably the most rewarding thing. Just knowing that you are an inspiration and you're changing the lives of small children that potentially could literally change their lives forever. I love all of my kids dearly, but specifically there is one kid that comes to mind when I think about just the positive relationship that I've built with him and just who I know he's going to be when he grows up. All my kids are going to be amazing when they grow up. I really believe that, and I really pray for that. But one kid in particular, I really do think of him as like my son. And it really just brings me complete joy knowing that he looks to me for pretty much everything when he's at school, and sometimes even when he's not at school, because this baby is so smart, but his home life is not the best. And not to say that, he's being mistreated or anything like that, but it's one of those situations where mom doesn't always have time for him. And education is not really a top priority in the household. It's just a lot of things that could possibly set him back. And I pray for him every day I pray for all my students, but especially him every day, that doesn't happen with him as he leaves me, because I'm not his teacher anymore. And I just pray that the teachers that he sees, from here on out, see the same thing that I see in him and continue to nourish him and encourage him and motivate him in the ways that he needs to be, to help him become who he's supposed to be. And I'm getting a little emotional because y'all just don't even understand. That's my little baby. Like, I love him so much. I love my kids so much. So definitely being that motivating factor, that inspiration in a child's life that can possibly change them for the better, that is the best part, the most rewarding part about being a teacher. The worst part about being a teacher, I would say in school, the worst thing would probably have to be all the extra paperwork you have to do for all these extra things. The political side and the coursework side of teaching is the absolute worst. Like, y'all just don't even understand what all teachers have to do as far as meetings and paperwork and professional development and all this other kind of extra stuff. It's just really a lot of extra stuff that we have to do on top of being A1 in the classroom. And it really does get stressful sometimes, and you have to constantly remind yourself what you're doing it for, why you're here, who you're doing it for, which is those kids. Because if you lose sight of that, you can become drained as a teacher real quick. I do really love being a teacher, and the rewarding side of it, like I said, outweighs any of the other stuff. Another thing about being a teacher that's not always the best is sometimes having those students where their home life is not the you know, students that you wish you literally could just take as your own, because what they're experiencing outside of your classroom can be sometimes literal hell, and sometimes there's not much you can do about it, you know. And not to say that, you know, all kids are being abused or anything like that, but like I said, like, a lot of parents, y'all would be surprised, a lot of parents just really don't care, you know. And if they do care, it's just really not a priority because they're faced with so many other challenges and so many other things. So the kids in their education really does get put to the back burner a lot of the times. And I saw that clearly during this whole coronavirus quarantine stuff where we had to teach at home. Distance learning really showed, you know, that a lot of these parents just either don't care or don't have the time to care. And it's just really sad, like, just knowing what kids can be going through outside of your classroom can just be really overwhelming and really heartbreaking. So I would have to say those are the two worst things about teaching. But like I said, the good does outweigh the bad, and if your heart is really in it for the kids, then you'll be fine. That was a good question. What does your perfect vacation look like? My perfect vacation is somewhere where it's sunny, but there's a breeze, not scorching hot. Palm trees, clear blue water, white sand, with no care in the world, not a whole bunch of people. Being with the ones that I love and just relaxing, letting go. It doesn't even matter where it is. The place that's coming up in my mind, though, is definitely the Maldives. If you watched my last video, you know that's one of my top places that I want to go. I want to visit. Just relaxing with my drink in hand and enjoying my loved ones, the ones around me. Just having a great time. I'm a very simple girl. It doesn't take much to please me. I don't need all the fancy stuff and the most expensive stuff. I'm not that type of person. So literally just being with the person or the people that I love on a beach somewhere where it's tropical and sunny with a nice little breeze or whatever, kicking back and relaxing, that's the perfect vacation for me. I don't need anything extra other than that. That is the perfect vacation for me. What is one thing you have to and will instill in your children? This is a great question. Shout out to you. Something that I have to and will instill into my children is worth. Their worth, their value, who they are. Especially because my children are going to grow up as Black men and Black women. It's absolutely necessary that they know and understand who they are, where they come from, what their history is. Everything about them, they are going to know. I have to instill that you are valuable, you are somebody, you matter. Because the world that we live in, unfortunately, doesn't show us the same love. So that type of love has to come from our parents. And as a mother, as a parent, when I become one, that is definitely something that I will instill into my children. It's something that my parents instilled into me, and I continue to grow into that, and I have to do that for my kiddos too. Another thing that I will and have to instill in my children is faith. I am a believer in Jesus Christ. I'm not gonna be the one to hammer it down into them, no, but they will know Jesus. The next question says, what is your full nationality? Okay, so how you know I'm just not Black? But no, to answer your question, I am half Panamanian and half Black. My mom's side of the family is from Central America, Panama, and that was actually my mom's first language. My mom didn't move here until she was 13 years old, fun fact, and her first language was Spanish, so she had to learn English. No, I don't speak Spanish if you're wondering. However, I am learning. I am, teaching myself. I'm practicing. So I am half Black as well. I rep that side too. Don't get it twisted, honey. Okay, I am also Blackity Black, Black, Black. That is my dad's side. And yeah, that is who I am. That is my nationality and my ethnicity. All right, so the last question that y'all have all been waiting for whatever reason. I don't know why y'all like to be up in people's business like that or whatever. I'm just kidding. But y'all have been wanting to know, am I dating? Is Miss Jackson, if you're classy, dating somebody? She got a boyfriend or not? Well, the answer is yes. I am seeing someone. I am dating right now. Yeah! And I'm in a good place. We're in a good place together. He just really does make me happy, and he really does show me that he respects me and he values me. We have a great time together. We're like best friends. We literally are becoming each other's best friend. Yeah, like when I talk about him, I just get all blushy and start smiling or whatever. But you guys wanted to know, so yes, I am dating. I got a boo thing or whatever. Miss Jackson, if you classy, does have a meow. Sorry, boys. If you're watching this, boo, shout out to you. But those are all the questions that I have for today. I know that question was one of the main ones that a lot of y'all came for, so I hope you're happy now or whatever. Yes, I'm dating. Let me say it again. Set the record straight, okay? But yeah, those are all the questions I have. And I will do this again sometime in the future. So if you do have any more questions for me, feel free to let me know in the comments. Email them to me. If you have my number, text them, Instagram, Twitter, you know, and any of that kind of stuff. All of those platforms you can reach me on, okay? And I will drop them below in the corner. And they are on my intros and outros of all my videos and in the description box. So you have plenty of ways to reach me, so don't be scared to use them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this Q&A part 2. And I will catch y'all on the next one. As always, you know you better what? Stay classy and stay sassy. I know that's right. Miss Jackson, catch y'all on the flip.